Hey guys, welcome to the Rat Grind channel. Thank you so much for joining us today. I got my daughter here. She's been assisting to join me in recording my videos. Say hi, baby.
Hi.
So she's gonna be joining us today, learning about what are we gonna learn about today?
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency. That's right. So we're gonna look at the markets. But before we look at the markets, I want to kind of go over a lesson that I want to be able to share with you guys, because I know this weekend has been quite harsh and sort of toying with our emotions and stuff like that. So I figured, let me put together um, some things like this 5 tips that I have for you guys to survive this crypto winter or this bear market, right? So we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, just a few reminders. If this is your first time joining me on this channel and us in today's video, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smash the like, guys. Me and my daughter would love and appreciate you giving us the thumbs up today. I know she's excited to be part of the video today. She's been bugging me for months now to join me on this particular video. So please smash the likes for us. And I look forward to hearing your comments. I look forward to getting your feedback. And please, 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 this is not financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. Are you a licensed financial advisor? No?
Not really.
Not really? Okay, yeah, she isn't either. So don't take her advice. Just take it as entertainment, take it as inspiration, do your own research, do your study the coins, find the opportunities that you see value in, and invest in those. So the first thing that we want to be able to go over before we look at the markets today, which has been quite an amazing, depending on where you look at it, quite a roller coaster, right? So I want to give you guys the 5 tips to stay green in this crypto winter, right? So the first thing that I want to be able to give you guys, so learn this too, okay? So I want you to take this into consideration when you invest in cryptocurrency as well. The first thing is trade only sound projects and coin. You got to learn to find opportunities. I know I've been talking to a lot of groups. I was in an interview today. We talked about this a little bit, and I also talked to a lot of guys online that I'm a part of communities with, asking me where the market is headed and all this stuff. And I always like giving advice on where I see potentially the market is going, but I always urge every single one of you to study. The best thing that you can be able to do in this crypto bear market is to continue studying. Learn an additional technical indicator. Learn that so that you can be able to get your probabilities to have better results, right? So make sure that you only invest in sound projects. Try not to find the next moon, the next Lambo opportunity. Really find the cryptocurrencies that have long-term value, that do survive this crypto markets. I know a lot of you, I'm sorry if you've been losing a lot of money in this particular weekend because of the fact that the markets took a nosedive again. And just today, I was up early this morning. I was preparing for an interview, and I watched the market just tank, right? Lose a lot of value, hit the lowest we've been this entire year so far. And that's quite a sight to behold, watching that live happen. And I can see that people have been losing a lot of money. But, in the last couple of days, I've still been able to make some gains on some trades. There's some altcoins out there that I find value in that I was able to trade, and I'm still making percentage gains despite the whole market practically collapsing all around me. So if you can find those opportunities, please trade only in those, but you need to continue to learn and study the projects so that you can have the ability to find the diamonds in the roughs, right? So that is the first tip I have for you guys. The second tip, the important tip that I have for you guys, is make a plan and stick to it. I know I see it all the time, all the, hold, hodl. I see that all the time, and I understand that. But unfortunately, you have to understand some people that bought into this space because of the market hype, because of the perception that they are going to be rich overnight. And if you're one of those, I'm sorry that it hasn't quite worked out for you. But I do understand where you're coming from. I know that everybody else is saying, just hodl, just Just hold the coins, keep buying the dips. But I also understand the fact that, hey, not every single one of us has an unlimited treasure box of fiat currency that we just have laying around, right? And that we just are ready to throw into the crypto markets. I personally don't have an unlimited supply. I'm not sure about you, but that's my position. So I want to make sure that I am able to make a plan, a trading plan, investment plan that I can be able to stick to, so that I can be able to get my money out when I can, when I need to, and bring my money back in when opportunities arrive. So don't be afraid to lose a bit. If it's better to lose a little bit than lose a lot. So make sure to put your stop losses in place, right? Remember risk management. If you are investing to potentially lose 1% and you can potentially gain 2, 3, 4, 5%, that is a good risk to reward ratio. If you are only earning, trying to earn 5% and you're down 50%, why have to go through that? Why do you have to do that to yourself? I suggest when that coin tanks, look at those resistance levels. As soon as it hits those resistance levels and it drops to some support that it breaks through, go ahead and get out of your trade, get out of that coin. You can always buy back in when it's on the way up. So, make sure that you are disciplined to take profits. Don't get too greedy. You never know when the market is going to tank again. So, for example, if you got in on this space, luckily, at the last crash back in, the September, November days, right? And you saw the parabolic runs all the way to almost 20K in Bitcoin. All the technical indicators at that time did say that we could potentially be on an end, right? And the market cycle is going to end and we're going to take, a little bit of a drop. I would have suggested that you got out of that position. And then if you think that's going to go up to 30K, you could have bought in back at 25K. That little bit of wiggle room there would have allowed you to keep some of your profits without losing your hair. So just keep in mind, try. I know it's very, very hard, but try to take the emotions out of your trades and your investments. Remember, this is a zero. You may not accept it, but this is a zero-sum game. If you lose, somebody else wins. And if you're winning, somebody else is losing. You don't want to be gambling, right? But at the same time, all of this is just probabilities. I always talk about this. I always talk about that in this particular channel, that a lot of times we are only looking at the probabilities of where the market could be headed. And because of that, we need to make sure that we don't get too greedy and make sure to get our money out. Not only FOMOing, but also FOCO, fear of cashing out, is also a big problem in our space. So don't be one of those. Don't FOMO and don't FOCO. You got it? So the third advice that I have for you guys is buy on the way up. I know, I suffer from this as well. I trade here and there. I invest long term. But we always have a tendency to buy in and then we see more drops, right? So we have to get confirmation that we're not, buying into a falling knife. It's really hard. Like they always say in trading, traditional markets don't catch a falling knife because it's very, very dangerous. So you need to be able to let it fall to the bottom and wait for confirmations. If there's a resistance level that it broke through, make sure you get confirmation that it closes above that resistance level and you can go in and buy in there. Make sure that the RSI levels are taking a more bullish divergence. Make sure that the MACD line has a crossover. If you look at your Fibonacci sequences, make sure that you're hitting a certain pocket that you want to be able to get into, but make sure to always buy coins that are on their way up. Make sure to not just look at a 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart. Look at all the charts from all the way from 1 week, 1 day, get a macro view of where the market could be headed for that particular asset or that particular cryptocurrency, and then dig deeper. If you are day trading, look at the lower time frame, but also look at the long-term time frame so that you know where potentially the market is going to head next. Again, it is not a exact science. It's not an exact thing that's going to happen. I see TAs making mistakes all the time. So do I and everybody else. When we're all learning here. So make sure, please make sure that you do not catch a falling knife. The fourth important lesson that I want to be able to share with you guys today is make sure to network with others for support. I know in times of downtimes, right? It's always nice to be able to talk to somebody else that's not waiting for the next big dip, and then they're going to basically castrate you, saying like, I told you so, right? I told you that you're investing in an asset that's going to disappear tomorrow, right? There's going to attend a funeral and all that stuff. Don't do that. Find people that are in the space that are really sound in mind, that are looking at opportunities the way you are. I know it's hard to find those people in this particular space because a lot of the people are looking for the next, like, oh, when is it gonna go up again? Is this the last dip that it's gonna get into? We all are asking the same questions, but you want to be able to get into a community that has your same investing style, same trading style, so that you all can be able to come together and weigh your probabilities out. So if you do a technical analysis or a fundamental analysis, you read a particular news, you can ask the community for their opinion so that you can be able to validate what you are already thinking. Don't get the community to tell you what to do, but allow the community to validate what you are already thinking. If you yourself have not come up with your own hypotheses, your estimated guess, or your guesstimate, your best guesstimate, don't be asking the community for help. Don't ask them for their opinion. Come up with your own research, with your own data set, with your own fundamental direction that you feel this particular coin or the overall market is going, and ask for validation and leverage the community that way. Right? You're sleepy?
Not really.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure that what I'm talking about doesn't make you sleepy. You're learning something?
Yeah.
No, you're not learning anything.
I learned.
Oh, you're learning something. Okay, all right. So we're gonna get on the last thing. So the last bit of advice that I have to give you guys. I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but I just want you to know, because I still see it. I still see the complaints on a day-to-day basis on the Telegram, Discord groups, Facebook groups that I'm a part of, that never ever invest more money than you can afford to lose. Always remember that, please. I know a lot of you guys are, ask yourself this. If there has been a time when there has been a dip in the market, like today, the last couple of weeks, right? And you're telling yourself, I wish I still had money left to be able to invest in this space, then that means that you've pretty much exhausted all your resources and have gone all in. I suggest you always have some capital left behind for you to be able to get in on this particular market. So what that means is, I know a lot of you are in this to hodl, right? I get that. I believe that, and I also do that. But I also have some assets that I can be able to pull out at any point in time so that I could be able to make the trades. I'm holding some positive coins that if I had to, I could liquidate and find another opportunity to be able to get into. And we don't, like I said, we don't all have an unlimited amount of money to be able to invest in this space. If you do, congratulations, because you're not like most of us that have a limited amount of capital. So this is money that we work hard for. I mean, I work hard for my money. I don't do cryptocurrencies per se just full time. I don't do just this. I have to be able to provide for my kids. I have 3 kids, that I need to be able to work for so that I can be able to give them the life that they all deserve. And that's why I'm doing this. And I'm sure a lot of you have your whys on why you're doing this. So please protect your investment, protect the money that you so work hard for, that you are investing in this space. Remember, you're investing, not gambling. The big difference is investing is where you're putting your money into, has the good potential for a return, for a rate of return. If you're just gambling, you're just throwing money into this space without any hope of ever knowing precisely where the market could be headed or the coins that you're investing in. You're just gambling. So please don't do that, right? So those are the 5 key tips that I'm trying to share with you guys so that you can survive this crypto winter that's pretty much plagued us from the beginning of this year after those parabolic runs. All right. So the next thing, we'll talk about the markets and see where the market is headed. I hope you found value in those 5 tips. So the next piece of content that I want to be able to cover today is, if you look at the markets today, like I said, as of right now, we're back in the green. But as of this morning, we took a bit of a dive, especially in Bitcoin. It's good that we were able to recover, but let's get into the market, right? If you see, we took a bit of a dive this morning. It was about 8 a.m. Pacific time, where we were just, sorry to say, I know my daughter is here, down in the dumps, right? We were down in the dumps, guys, and it wasn't really good because I was sort of freaking out, because I'm not freaking out because I'm not like heavily invested, but it's at least like, I don't want the markets to go down more. I mean, I'm sure you don't either, right? So if we look at the current market cap, we are currently at $250 billion as of right now. The 24-hour volume rised up a little bit to 15 billion, but the Bitcoin dominance is at 42%. I believe that's an unhealthy Bitcoin dominance as of this moment. I know if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, I get it. You want this to be 100% Bitcoin, but if you are in this space, you are invested in some other altcoins, this is definitely not what you want to be able to see. But if we look at it, a lot of the coins were able to rebound today, some more than others, like Monero. It seems like the privacy coins are doing much better. Dash was doing really well last night, and this morning I was able to, get in on some positions there, but it looks like they are surviving quite a bit. Ontology took a really good upswing in the last 24 hours, despite the whole downturn this morning, right? So if you look at that, if you look at the overall coins that are available on CoinMarketCap, the top 100, a lot of them were able to survive the lows. Hopefully, if we look at the charts, that could have been our last dip and we could be heading up. But again, we don't know for sure. We have to look at the technical indicators for us to really find out where this could possibly be headed, right? So let's look at the Bitcoin charts right now and analyze it a little bit. You ready for that? Mm-hmm. All right. So let's look at the crypto market Bitcoin charts. So right now I'm looking at the Bitcoin to USD pairing on Bitfinex. This is the 1-day chart. As you can see, let me just zoom in here a little bit. I'll explain to you. If you've been watching the videos, you know already the lines that I've been drawing up here. As you can see, today this was this long wick right here. This was what it sold to this morning. I saw this happen all the way down here at about, I think, 8 a.m. to about 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? And I saw that and I was hoping that it would bounce. And we talked about that in the last analysis that we did. We talked about, if ever it breaks through this resistance, basically this first green line of resistance right here, that's basically the last line of support. That's the lowest we have been this year back in February, right? So we went sub 6K today and we hit down to about $5,750, and that was quite nerve-wracking for a lot of us because we weren't sure where it was going to head, and it got bought up, and that was a great thing, and it closed on a long wick. So that is a very, very bullish reversal candle. But we have to see where we stand today. If it's going to end on a green, that's where we want to be able to see it. But right now it's still red. It's currently just the bulls and the bears are sort of fighting this out. We can't really tell where this takes us. Tomorrow is going to be Monday here in the United States, and I'm sure a lot of the guys that took the weekend off, they're not trading, tomorrow they'll be able to see what happens, and we'll see if the bulls have been able to, and would be able to regain some momentum and push us back up and try to recover this long bearish candle, engulfing candle over here. If we look at the RSI levels, before we do that, I want to go into lower time frame. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. As you can see, I added this red resistance line right here. It's about the 6200 level, and as you can see, in the last couple dips that we've gotten, it hasn't been able to break through that line, right? So that is proving to be a really hard resistance for the market, for Bitcoin in general, to be able to break out of. And what we want to see as a confirmation is, as you can see, it continues to be rejected by that line. I mean, not only in this particular recovery right here, but it was stopped right in that track, and it's gone back down. And I'm looking at the 1 hour chart. So we need to be able to break through this to be able to get some confirmations that we can finally get back up into some, some more bullish momentum. As of right now, bears are completely in control up until we can be able to break through that. And we're not, I always say, we're definitely not out of the woods, because of the fact that, we are sort of trading sideways again, and we seem to cannot break through that particular line. Although, it's still good that we are up here, that we had that massive recovery. But usually whenever we have these long candles like this in a short, like hour-long span, that's going to break down, because that's not a healthy recovery. What we want is a healthy recovery is slowly going back up, progressing little by little all throughout the day, because that means that the bears are gaining more momentum and more bears are picking it up and trading it back. Because if you can see, there's not a lot of volume as of right now. If we go back to the 1 day chart here, there wasn't really a lot. It was a red volume day today, and it's proving to be right now as well. So that's where we are at. If we look at the RSI again, the MACD has sort of pointed up already as of right now. But as you can see here, we had a bullish convergence right here, and it peaked out and dropped back down, right? But as we can see, this is sort of forming a wedge right here as well, which, this is what I like to see, because it means that the selling momentum is recovering quite well. There's not a lot of selling that is happening, relative to the overall market that we are in, right? So we can see that the bears are sort of losing steam on the 1 day chart, but this is something that we need to continue to see, and we need to be able to recover back up. If we look at the RSIs, the 1 day RSI here, we are still quite oversold, but what I like seeing here is we are, this is a good bullish divergence here. And even though if we look at this last dip here, we're sort of still trading up, right? If we look at that, that's a good confluence to tell me that, hey, we're in a recovery mode. But we've seen that it recovered, and it did not break out of this about 37 line here, and it dropped back down. That's not something that we want to experience again. We needed to get back totally up to be able to gain back into the range that we feel more bullish in, right? So if we look at Ethereum, guys, let's look at that. I always look at Ethereum like I tell you guys. Let me look at Bittrex here. Ethereum US dollar pairing on a 1 day chart, as you can see. Oh, that's kind of weird. Why is the candle only showing there? I'm not sure why that is. Did I mess up? For some reason the Bittrex chart is not working for me. Let's look at Coinbase. I'm not gonna worry about it as much. But if we look at Coinbase right now, again, I drew that line and we broke down like we predicted. But right now it's recovered quite well as well. It's sort of going in for a bullish divergence here. Bullish convergence here on the 4 hour chart. If we look at the 1 day chart on the MACD, we can see that it's still on its way down. It's quite separating. So I can see Ethereum still falling out of support there, but we've been able to gain a little bit of bullish momentum. Bless you, my love. By it having a long tail here on Ethereum, it means that we were able to recover back up, and we need today's candle to end on a green note. If it does that, then that's a little bit more of a confluence factor for us to know that, hey, it's bottomed out and we could potentially be on our way up. But a lot of people are taking a lot of short positions that, if the bears don't see a lot of recovery here, they're gonna short this market and push it all the way down even more, which is something that we do not want to see happen. But it can't continue to happen. If you look at the RSI on Coinbase right now, again, it's still in the very oversold levels, and for a while there, like as you can see over here, this was a long oversold time, and we could experience a longer couple more days or even the whole week being here down in an oversold level. We needed to bounce back up, and we really need the bears right now. But as far as Ethereum is concerned, overall, we never really got to the lowest that it got this year, to about, almost 350. So comparing Bitcoin and Ethereum has been holding up much better than Bitcoin has. And maybe that's because of, a lot of more people are buying into Bitcoin because there's a lot more surety, because, as far as OTCs, the future markets, the institutional investors, they've already got some clarification that Bitcoin is not a security, and they've already opened up trading possibilities for that particular asset. But Ethereum recently was just the time that we were able to see some of that clarification from the Security Exchange Commission, and we need more money brought into Ethereum, right? So that's sort of where we're seeing the markets headed potentially. So we're going to keep an eye on the markets right now. For me personally, I'm still holding back. I need to see more confirmations. If you're taking position trades, long-term trades, then I'm going to need to wait to see some more positive bullish confluence for me to be able to know that we are potentially headed into a more bullish direction. But if you are taking short trades, day trading, scalping, there's been a lot of, if you were able to buy it at 8 a.m. this morning, you would have been able to gain about 3, 4, 5% today just on Bitcoin alone. So that's something that, congratulations if you were able to do that. And I know a lot of people are shorting the market right now because of the uptick and trying to push the momentum back down to lower back to about 5,700, 5,800. So we need to hold above 56, 5,800. And, it would be great if we can rise above the 6,200 level on Bitcoin to see some more bullish momentum pick up in the next couple days. All right. So there's just one piece of news that I'm going to talk to you guys about today. I mean, you can read up all about the news that happened in the space. There was a McAfee news that he was in the last couple of days that he was almost murdered. So that's news that's already out there. But there was just some piece of news that I got wind of today, and some confirmation again just before I got in that I want to be able to share with you guys. So just hold on just one bit and we'll get right onto that. So we all know about Mt. Gox, right? Mt. Gox will be... You all right, baby? Okay. So the last bit of news, like I said, Mt. Gox will be compensating 1 billion in Bitcoin to all of you guys who have or who were victims of it back in the 2013, 2014 fiasco that happened of us, basically about 800,000 Bitcoins were stolen. I mean, in today's money, that's just insane amounts of Bitcoin, right? So there was confirmation today that the civil rehabilitation process finally has begun, right? That this means that they'll be able to start a process of giving back to the victims of the hack that happened back then. And it was talked about that this is Mr. Kobayashi, Nobuaki Kobayashi, who is the trustee of Mt. Gox, that we know that he's been selling off his crypto assets, his Bitcoin assets, right? He said in bankruptcy proceedings, non-monetary claims are converted into monetary claims based on the valuation as at the time of commencement of bankruptcy proceedings. So they're officially out of bankruptcy. In contrast, in civil rehabilitation proceedings, non-monetary claims are not converted into monetary claims at the time of commencement of the civil rehabilitation proceedings. So creditors to start receiving repayment the first quarter of 2019. So, Brian Kelly, they did a little skit on Bitcoin funeral and stuff like that, which was quite funny, but not in a way. He said that everybody thinks that there's going to be a wave of selling, but that's not going to happen right now. At long last, it said here, Mt. Gox account holders affected by hack would receive their coins after Mt. Gox was given a go-ahead to proceed with their civil rehabilitation process. This is a reprieve not only to those seeking compensation, but to Bitcoin prices, because Kobayashi won't be liquidating more coins in the days to come. So if that is not bullish news for all of us, I don't know what else is. We need all the reprieve that we can possibly get at this time of this bearish crypto winter right now. And I'm going to take that news and take it to the bank, right? Because that's a really positive news, because at least that is one other thing that we don't have to worry about in the crypto space overall, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. That's all the topics that I want to be able to share with you guys. Tomorrow, we're going to look at the crypto markets all over again. We're going to see where it's headed, where it's gone into. I'm telling you guys, there are opportunities for some trades, from some swing trades and for some position trades today, because there's a lot of coins that are showing good buying opportunities. I'm not going to tell you what they are. I want you to go ahead and look at them. Look for those confluences, oversold levels that are taking a more bullish direction, like bullish divergence, MACD crossovers that have been able to recover above specific resistances, above exponential moving average, for you to see some opportunities to be able to get into and, make even small percentage gains. Consistent percentage gains is what's going to help you become wealthy over time. It's not the parabolic runs that you probably will not sell. You probably won't sell if you see the coin jump back up to 20,000, because you feel that when it jumps back to 20,000, then it's definitely going to be 30,000 again. And if you don't sell, it crashes back down to 6K again, then you're going to be kicking your behind and wishing and hoping that you had sold at that time. So make sure you make the right decisions. Please, rewind the video. Make sure you got the 5 tips that I give you guys to survive this crypto winter. Those are the same 5 things that I personally apply, that a lot of the contacts that I have personally apply as well. All right. Well, that's it. And I really hope that you found value in today's video. I want to thank my daughter for joining me, supporting this channel. She watches it on a day-to-day basis. She subscribes to my YouTube channel, right, baby?
Mm-hmm.
She does. So please do subscribe to this channel as well. Support us, and I wish you all have a great evening. And until I see you guys on the next video, I wish you and your family a success-filled what?
And subscribe.
Oh, a success-filled day, and subscribe. Do what she said. All right? Well, have a good night, guys. I love you. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Good night. Didn't want to end. Bye again.